everyone. I, Deepika Sodhi, welcome you all to Tete-a-Tete session with our IBDP World Toppers. IBDP results were recently announced in the month of July, and I'm very happy to share that Global Indian International School Smart Campus has made history by producing 16 world toppers, 9 near perfect scorers. 53% of our students have scored 40 grade points and above, and the school average stands at a record high of 38.81 grade points. This batch is a trendsetter. This batch is a trailblazer. They've made us proud, they've made their families proud, and we, dear students, are proud of you. So I have with me 4 of our esteemed toppers who are joining me today to share their experiences of IBDP. I have Anahita Vangu, 45 grade point scorer, being a world topper. RN Sharma, another world topper with 45 grade points. Vedeha Sathe, world topper with 45 grade points. Manas Sethi, 44 grade points and a near perfect scorer. Welcome, everyone. We are happy to have you here with us, dear graduates. Thank you for taking your time today to be with us on this journey. Before we start the session today, a quick sneak peek into IB for our audience. International Baccalaureate Diploma Program is a 2-year program wherein children need to study 6 subjects and 3 core components. The subjects range from various diverse groups, right from humanities to arts to sciences to mathematics. Each subject is graded at 7 grade points, which makes it 7 into 6, 42 grade points. The 3 grade points come from 3 core components, which is theory of knowledge, extended essay, and creativity activity service. These 3 components prepare IB students for life. Theory of knowledge talks about areas of knowledge, ways of knowing what we know and how we know. Extended essay is a 4,000 piece of individual research that student writes on his or her own. Creativity activity service gives professional learning experience to students. IBDP, as all know, is a very broad, rigorous, and challenging program. It makes learners who are IBDP ready, who are active, who are compassionate, who are lifelong learners ready to create a better and a peaceful world. So here we are with the graduates who are IB ready learner, young adults who have reached this academic rigor and now are enjoying and tasting the fruit of their success. Let's move to the chatting session with our IBDP toppers. So as I feel, academic results are a turning point in anyone's life. And I strongly believe that there are 4 P's that lead to S. So these 4 P's for me stand for push, passion, persistence, and perseverance, leading to success. So do you feel that any of these P's has been instrumental in putting you on a pedestal where you are today? I mean, you are enjoying the success of being a world topper, and of course, pursuing a dream course of your choice. Do you think that one of these P's was responsible for your results? So I would want one of you to share your experiences. Anahita, would you want to go first?
I definitely feel very grateful for the results I have achieved, as there were many uncertain situations we had to face during the IB journey because of the pandemic. Our IA experiments had to be postponed. We had to go through online classes, and there was the unpredictability of whether our IB board exams would be conducted or not. But despite all these obstacles, the school and our teachers provided us with constant support and motivation, which enabled me to maintain my persistence and give it my best to achieve the score I have got.
Okay, so I feel, Anahita, for you, the word is persistence. You were persistent throughout your journey, and you owe your success to this persistence. So that's very fantastic to hear from you. Let's try and hear from Aryan. What is his P word that, that has made him where he is today?
I definitely agree with all the things that you and Anayata said. So gratitude, joy, relief, these were some of the emotions that I had after the results. And I really owe it all to the excellent teachers and faculty at GIS. They're really passionate in providing the best possible education for each and every student. And this passion naturally bleeds into our academic lives and work. I really appreciate their flexibility as teachers to quickly adapt into an online style of education during the pandemic. And I also appreciate that they remained extremely supportive, flexible, and dedicated throughout my IB life, which motivated me to give my best in all of my work and remain passionate throughout the 2 years.
Oh, so as I hear from you, Aryan, passion has been your keyword. So you were passionate throughout your journey and ended up with this 45 grade points. Lovely to hear that. Let's see what Manas has to say. Which P enabled him to be where he is today?
Yeah, for me, most of my friends were very smart and always performed well, which made me myself push myself so that I could be at the top next to them. And I find these kinds of friendly competitions really pushes one to their limits. Even the teachers putting in so much effort into our education, especially the past 2 tough years, really ignited a fire within me, which pushed me to achieve the score I got.
So for you, the right word is push, if I see it that way. So push is something that pushed you to achieve what you have today or where you are today. That's nice to hear. Where they are, let's hear it out from you.
To me, I felt like the P which I identified with most was perseverance, especially because of the COVID situation, home-based learning and quarantine. A lot of the deadlines for experimentation for our I's and E's were pushed forward. Because from the school's end. And I remember being very nervous about not being able to finish my IE experimentation. But at the end of the day, it was about getting down to the lab whenever I could and persevering through all the trials, making sure I got them done and had enough time to finish my work later on. The school was really supportive and understanding of our situation. And all the teachers gave us enough time for the I's by adjusting their own schedules, which I really appreciated. And that was a really big factor in achieving the grade I got.
So for you, the right word is perseverance. So if we see each one of you also somehow feels that push, passion, persistence, perseverance are at the core of your academic success that you are enjoying today. But then again, where do these four elements emerge from or come from? I think dedication and determination is at the core of these four P's. If you are dedicated, if you're determined, you get pushed, you get persistent, you persevere to achieve the academic results that you are expecting. Or I would rather put it as this way: determination and dedication help you achieve designated outcomes, which help you realize your dreams. You feel as if you're living your dream. So where they are, do you think that you are living your dream after completing your schooling at GIIS?
Yes, of course. I was very relieved and happy when we got the results because it meant that I was able to get into my dream school, Imperial College London, to study what I've always had a passion for, which is molecular bioengineering. The subjects that I took in IB directly helped me hone my research and experimental skills and my interview skills, which I was trained in my CAS and TOK. And all these factors are what helped me get into my school and do something I was really passionate about.
Okay. So you feel you're living your dream. And I still remember the time from Cambridge when you did not have your second language and how now you persevered, you were determined, and you did get a 7 in the second language that you did in IB. And that's how you are at 45. Well done, where they are proud of you. Let's hear from Aryan.
Yes, ma'am. So graduating from the IB curriculum at GIS, I feel that it equipped me with the necessary skills for my further education in university. Although right now I have not yet finalized exactly which university I will be going to, I am excited and equally nervous to pursue medicine at hopefully St. George's University of London.
Okay. I see. That's nice. So somehow, to some extent, yes, it is decided. Manas, do you feel you're living your dream after graduating from GIIS?
Yes, I certainly do. Having achieved these kind of results was obviously very relieving. and I was happy with the result marking the end of my school days, ready to go into college. The school has definitely helped me in my university applications and admission into University of Birmingham for medicine. And graduating from GIS, I feel like I'm a much more confident person than I was before. And yes, I'm really living my dream.
Oh, so I can hear the words being more confident after graduating and, of course, living your dream. So nice, Manas. And Anahita, what would you like to add to the whatever these three boys have just said?
For me as well, achieving this result has given me the opportunity to pursue my dreams and study chemical engineering at Carnegie Mellon University in the US. I also feel that completing IB and graduating from GIS has prepared me to enter university life with a more positive outlook.
So positive outlook is your key word. And yes, I do feel Carnegie Mellon, yes, dream university of many people. So determination, dedication led you to the push, passion, persistence, perseverance. But all this again boils down to one thing, that's discipline. Discipline can be in any terms, discipline in life, discipline in terms of your submissions, discipline in staying focused. So I think, Aryan, you are with GIS from class 2. What would you like to share? Do you feel that school in some way or teachers at GIS in some way helped you make and inculcate or imbibe that discipline, which is usually not enforced, it is created? Were the conditions conducive to create that discipline, that made you what you are today, like made you focused, made you passionate, made you persevere, made you determined? All this comes from the root that is discipline. So I would love to hear from you, Aryan.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. Like you said, I joined GIS when I was in second grade, and it's been 11 years in this school. And obviously, I've spent most of my school life at GIS. To answer your question, firstly, I feel that cyclic tests were an important part of maintaining discipline in my education. So these weekly tests were conducted in between the bigger semester exams, and they pushed me to gain a deeper understanding of the syllabus, because we revisited important concepts several times over the years. And this also reduced the overall pressure in the final exams, which allowed me to perform better. And obviously, all of my teachers throughout my school life also played a huge role in my academic success. No doubt was ever too silly for them, and they always inspired me to push myself out of my comfort zone and remain disciplined throughout. Without the guidance of my amazing Hindi teacher, Deepa Sharma ma'am, and her excellent notes, I definitely would not have been able to attain the world topper rank in IGCSE Hindi board exam. And finally, the GSAs, or the Global School Awards, that are conducted annually at our school, they really cultivated a sense of pride and accomplishment within me, and also motivated me to be persistent in my academic, co-curricular, and extracurricular pursuits.
Good to hear. Fantastic and very well worded, Aryan. I think I'm sure my audience can relate to the fact that repeatedly we are using the words push, persistence, perseverance, and of course everything comes from discipline. Again, I would repeat, discipline is not enforced, it's created. So I think, yes, like you rightly said, structured assessment schedules, regular recognitions in terms of Global School Awards keeps students motivated, keeps them focused, keeps them channelized. And what starts from beginning carries on till the end. And this would last into your university life as well. I mean, I'm saying this from my experience. Let's hear what Anahita has to say and add to your point.
I joined GIS in 5th grade, and since then, our teachers have always motivated and pushed us to manage our time well, to meet the deadlines. And the enthusiastic attitude among the students created a positive learning environment for all of us. And along with that, all of the alumni sessions conducted in school, where we got to listen to their success stories, inherently inculcated that discipline among all of us.
Okay, Manas.
I definitely agree with Anahita and Aryan. My time in GIS is very short-lived, but my very first impression of the students when I joined was that they're all so well-behaved. And seeing such a positive attitude of the children towards schooling also pushed me to be well-behaved and naturally instilled discipline in me, which I think was very important for my education.
Okay, so I think, yeah, but I'll come back to the point which you said that your association with GIS was the least one. But let's first hear from Vedeha.
So I joined GIS in eighth, and I think I agree with Aryan that the regular homeworks, the worksheets, and cyclic tests, they all help encourage a healthy and consistent study environment, and that helped instill discipline within us, while also fostering a little bit of a healthy competition between the students due to the tests. And I think that pushed us even further and made us study properly so that we can excel.
So I like the word healthy competition, correct? When we when we are in environment of healthy competition, we try to argue to overcome our limitations. Limitations are always self-imposed. They're always in our mind. But when we fight to overcome that limitations, once we overcome them, then we enjoy what you are enjoying today. And I think, again, we heard the word push. So you have pushed across your limitations, and that healthy competition that you all spoke about, that you felt in GIS, was something that kept pushing you to overcome your limitations. And now I'll come back to a point that Manas mentioned, that Manas, like you rightly said, your association with GIS has been the shortest. You joined us in somewhere in middle of class 9th. And then do you think, and you came from an international school in India, which is quite a reputed school, Scottish High. So what do you think was the difference? Where do you think, you could easily overcome your limitation at GIS?
Yes, ma'am. The one thing GIS helped me largely in was becoming more social and outgoing. I always used to be that shy kid in school, but changing schools forced me into socializing all over again. And it's not that it was hard; it was completely easy to like blend into the society over here. The great thing about this was the GIS buddy system. Where on your first day, no matter the grade you're in, you get assigned a student, whether it be the first grade or even like IBR 1. You get assigned a student as your buddy who helps you mingle into the community, learn during classes, and ensure your well-being throughout your education. Once you have a good, reliable friend circle, you're basically invincible. And I think it has played a major role in my metamorphosis.
Right. So I heard two new words when you were sharing: buddy system and well-being. Yes. Well-being is too important. And with that intent, every new student is assigned a buddy. And I'm very happy to hear from you that you found this system to be really encouraging and helped you settle down into the system, helped down to be part of the school community, part of school culture. And of course, it helped you to push your limitations. And Ahita, would you want to share something on this perspective? Do you ever feel you overcame your limitations during your schooling years here?
Yes, ma'am. As a student, it's natural to face situations where we tackle various assignments, projects, and activities simultaneously. So my experience in GIS helped me in learning to multitask more effectively, especially during IB, where we had to focus on our studies, our extracurricular activities, as well as our mental health. So throughout my learning experience, my teachers and friends always encouraged me, which has made me into the stronger individual I am today.
So the holistic approach that you got is what you feel, kept you always going. Let me hear from Aryan what he would like to add.
Yes, ma'am. Like you said, holistic. So I feel like GIS really provided a platform where I could holistically develop my co-curricular interests. So I could organize several workshops with my friends related to filmmaking and video animation, which are things that I'm passionate about. And this challenged my skill as an instructor and also improved my communication skills with a diverse audience. I also learned the virtues of teamwork, proactive leadership, and decision-making as part of the student council. And MUN debates and other events arranged at GIS, like Annual Day, have definitely made me a quicker thinker and a more confident communicator.
Oh, so I could see, Aryan, the IB learner profile being reflected, that helped you to overcome your limitations. And let's see what Vedeha would like to add to this.
As I said, I joined GIS in 8th, and I think the teachers and classmates they really encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone, as I was really nervous joining a new school for the first time. And I was really shy and I didn't really ask many questions. But their constant encouragement and support helped me come out of my shell and ask questions and interact with the class more. All those things definitely helped me in my studies moving forward. Yeah.
Yes, and I would like to add to what all you mentioned just now in how school helped you to overcome your limitations. I think at GIIS, data analytics is something that is very high on, and we pay a lot of emphasis on data analytics, wherein we track students' performance subject on subject. And of course, like you know, IB grade points come from combination of all subjects, including the core components. So which means you must score a 7 in all subjects and a 3 grade points in all core components to be a 45 scorer, or let's say a highest scorer or a near perfect scorer. And I'm sure during the school years, during your internal examination, there would have been subjects where you weren't performing to this expected outcome, or getting a 7, getting a 5 or a 6 in internal exam. But the tracking really helps to track students, the subject where they least perform, subject that requires that nudge, that push. And I think that was done, and accordingly strategies are put in place. So would you want to share the subject in school where you weren't performing so well, but this tradition, and or I would rather say this best practice of tracking students through our data analytics helped us put that right strategy in place for you, and you ended up scoring a 7 in the subject in the final board exams? So any one of you can share your thoughts. Aryan, we can start from you.
Okay, sure, ma'am. So personally, and for me and quite a lot of IB students, math AAHL was quite daunting, and I was really struggling a lot in the internal exams. But the one-on-one session with my maths teacher, Deepak sir, he allowed us to identify my weak areas, which was complex numbers and probability. And after that, he really provided me relevant worksheets and online resources that strengthened my grasp of these concepts. The goal setting sessions that were conducted during IGCSEs and IB were really helpful for me, since teachers could provide me personalized feedback and tangible goals for each academic subject. And I felt that this personalized performance review and evaluation system at GIS was a godsend for the board exams, especially for the subject of Math HL.
Very well articulated, Aryan. I love that anecdote. God sent, personalized performance plan and review. Yes, as I mentioned, data analytics is something that is very close at everyone's heart. I mean, and we feel that it really helps us to put those right action plans that we need to do, that personalized action plan. And like you rightly said, maths AAHL being one of the toughest subjects, and if a child fails to get a 6-7 in maths, then of course you would not have achieved what you have today, that is 45. So Anahita, what do you think was your subject, where the personalized strategy really helped you?
I remember we used to have individual goal setting sessions with each of our subject teachers to identify which areas and concepts we were not clear with. And then we would set a target for the upcoming semester exams so that we can gradually progress. So I remember I used to have one-on-one sessions with Sonia ma'am, my English teacher, where we would identify my areas of improvement and I could put in extra effort to successfully overcome them. She would suggest different techniques I could use to answer the questions, and it ultimately led to me scoring 7 in English in the IB board exams.
So I'm happy that, with the 7 in English, you ended up getting a 45 grade point. So well done, Anahita. Manas, would you want to add to what Anahita just shared?
Yes, ma'am. I feel like I have been in both Aryan and Anahita's shoes over here. There was this one semester where I believe a lot of the grade did terribly in Math AHL. But that was only like a push for everyone over there. Because after that one semester, I think that everyone excelled in the following exams. Performance tracking was definitely helpful. It clearly highlighted my weak subjects, for example, English literature. I was very organized in school and I was well aware of my problem areas, but this helped me validate my decisions and confirm that certain subjects needed additional effort from my side, which has clearly paid off for me. Sonia ma'am, our English teacher, sat down with me one-on-one, like Anahita said, and had a discussion about which portion of the syllabus was turning out to be problematic for me. And this kind of personalized care has really helped.
So again, you also feel that it went a long way for you, two subjects, both you mentioned maths and English. Were there any subject that you feel this kind of strategy helped for you?
Yeah, so as you said, I didn't take a second language in IGCSE. And so I was struggling with French ab initio in the early stages of IB. And I remember my French teacher, Uma ma'am, sitting me down on one such goal-setting session and explaining to me exactly how I was lacking in grammar and vocab and how I could improve them in my specific case. And she also gave me more advice on how to hone my speaking skills and general advice to help me get better at my French skills. And I think that directly helped me get a 7 in my exams.
Yes, and I really appreciate that. So these tips, these tricks that you mentioned, that teachers told you that do this, apply this, let's say in French ab initio or in mathematics or in English, or for that matter, subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, ESS, economics, these tips and tricks go a long way. When we say teacher knows the way, teacher shows the way. And most of the teachers, as you know, in GIS are, of course, they are IB trained. Most of us are IB examiners. We are IB examiners. We examine IB papers and we bring that expertise and experience back into classes. It's for you people. When we bring and share our experiences with you, when we guide you, it's like a facilitator. It's no more a lecture mode. It's a facilitation wherein we show you the right path. And all teachers at GIS, their endeavor is to make sure that none of the student lags, even in that single subject. So with that policy of no child left behind, not even in single subject, goes a long way. And then teachers also, and this also helps in building your school profile, student profile. Teachers work in close consensus with career counselors as well. But not to forget, those one-to-one sessions that you have with teachers, well, be it your subject teachers for your internal assessment components, be it for your TOK and EE, right? That 1 hour which you spend, or 2 hours or 3 hours that you spend with your supervisors, reviewing your TOK essays, going through your extended essay researches, and polishing them or modifying them. So to what extent you feel, that 2 hours spent with your supervisor gave you that expert tip, that nudge, which actually ended getting a 3 for you. So any sharing on that part with your TOK extended essays, I would love to hear. Vedha, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so I took biology for my extended essay subject, and I focused on microbial fuel cells and electrogenesis. Despite a large amount of experimental work that I had, Shivali ma'am, helped me with very clear-cut points for improvement and a very structured research method. She's obviously very experienced in this type of research, and she was able to give me these tips and tricks that she learned and help me write my paper in a more professional manner. She also helped me get access to online paper archives to hone and perfect my essay. She always gave me regular feedback about my paper. She highlighted things that I had done well and things I could improve. I developed a very good relationship with her over the course of my essay writing, and her advice was crucial in getting the marks I received.
So I agree. These one-to-one sessions, one-to-one sittings that you have, they make you a reflective learner. One of the attributes that IB actually looks for IB-ready learners is being reflective. And you become reflective when you spend that time with your supervisor. Like you rightly said, that happened in case of your biology extended essay. Anahita, what would you want to share?
I did my extended essay in Hindi, and my topic revolved around the effect of globalization on the lifestyle and cultural dynamics of working class families. The online resources for Hindi are relatively limited, but my supervisor, Anju ma'am, helped me by providing relevant materials and guided me in diversifying my research. And after each draft of my essay, she would give clear feedback, and her constant support in this entire process definitely helped me achieve my score.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear, Anahita. You had a good experience. Manas, anything to add from your end?
For similar to Vedeha, I did my E in biology as well, and he's summarized it excellently. So I'll talk about my TOK experience. TOK for me was just one big brain teaser. Like at the beginning of the session, no one really understood what TOK was about. I was always on my toes, continuously thinking, not because I was forced to, but because the subject of TOK is just that interesting. For my TOK essay, I chose to write about the difference between change and progress, and the support and feedback I received from Shivalik ma'am on what more I could include and what all was redundant was very clear and concise. And the one-on-one sessions were like very fruitful. They didn't last that long, but in the short amount of time that Shivalik ma'am could free up for us, it was very much helpful. And the whole TOK experience is a lot, but Shivalik ma'am definitely made it much more manageable.
Right. So TOK is something that people dread on, because it's all about knowledge, knowing what we know and how we know. Yes, people start thinking on TOK. So good that you had a nice experience with your TOK supervisor. What about you, Aaron? What would you want to add here?
Yeah, ma'am. I feel like Manas is absolutely right. TOK as a subject is very confusing and scary, especially for incoming IB or 1 students. And in my opinion, this only reinforces the importance of effective teachers who are well versed with the curriculum so that they can simplify the abstract concepts and ideas that are present in the subject. For my TOK essay, I chose to write about how one can distinguish between change and progress in ethics and math. And I'm very grateful for Shivalik ma'am's constructive support, her unfiltered critique, and her strict deadlines, which really pushed me to give my best in my TOK essay and also the TOK presentation.
Okay, fantastic. So therefore, as I said, most of the teachers, in fact, 70% of the teachers are IB examiners, and they examine extended essays, TOKs, extended essays even for world studies, which are more complicated than the regular subjects wherein we combine content of 2 subjects and then prepare our research. So I'm happy that you had that fruitful experience with your supervisors and even with your subject teachers. And as I said, all this goes a long way in building your college profile. And then you are at the end of your school life about to enter the university. So the right search of colleges, right search of courses is also equally important, because you're about to enter the next phase of your life, which would then finally decide your future. So career counseling cell at GIIS is very proactive. Do you think you found that support? You ended up in your dream college with your dream course with the support of the recommendation letters given by the teacher and, of course, the career counseling services provided to you at school. Aaron, would you want to add here first?
Yes, ma'am. So going into college application, I was a very confused person. In fact, I didn't even know that I really wanted to do medicine until the middle of 11th grade. So obviously the application process is very daunting, like for deciding which university to apply, which course I should apply, what exams I need to take, the grades that they require, and of course, the dreaded personal statements. Fortunately, I felt that the alumni sessions and various webinars that were conducted by universities for our own school and our own students were really useful. And I'm very thankful for the guidance, the resources, and obviously the recommendation letters that Seema ma'am, who's our career counselors, and the other teachers at our school have provided to us over the past 2 years.
Right. So as you said, university sessions. So school continuously invites various universities and admission officers to guide students so that they can choose the right path in the right direction. How was your experience in terms of career counseling?
So I was actually introduced to the topic that I want to study later in university, which is synthetic biology, through a seminar held at school. It was a host lecture by a lecturer from a different university. And Seema's support during the application, and especially for obtaining and compiling the recommendation letters from different teachers, along with her personal statement reviews and general advice about how unis work, always helped me and kept me informed about different options and choices. process and helped me create my UCAS application in a much better manner. I think the frequent seminars and webinars for different unis that the school always hosted introduced me to how the unis work and how their course structures are, and that definitely informed my choices as to which way of learning was the best for me and thus which university was the best for me.
So I'm happy that you feel that the right path, right direction was shown to you at all times during these 2 years of your study. Manas, how was your experience here?
I agree with Aryan here. I'm also a med student like him. The whole process of applying to universities is a mess for most students and even parents, because different universities have like different guidelines and different requirements that you all have to like scour deep into their website to find. But having CMM definitely helped. Especially for a course like medicine, because there are so many more prerequisites like writing the UCAT exam and having a job shadowing experience. CMM, our career counselor, held our hand throughout the tedious process by highlighting what all was necessary, introducing universities we might personally be interested in, and answering any doubts we had about the whole process.
Anahita, would you want to add to what Manas just shared?
I agree to all of the points as well. Seema ma'am supported all of us throughout the college admission process by giving us insight into different universities, by conducting informative webinars with our school alumni as well as university officials. She also gave us various tips and resources for writing our UK personal statement and US college essays, and she was always there to answer any questions we had regarding our application.
Before we move on, I'd like to add one more point about Seema ma'am. During my application process, there was this one conflict with the University of Bristol. They said that my application was not successful because of my date of birth. But the thing was, we had previously checked that I was eligible, in fact, like age eligible to apply to the university. And Seema ma'am, she has contacts directly in the University of Bristol. So for that conflict, she really helped me out a lot by contacting them personally and working me through the whole thing, which I'm really grateful for.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sure Seema ma'am would be happy to hear this, that she could help you and sort. And yes, as you rightly said, most of us, have been with GIS for more than a decade. For us, you are trailblazers, but there have been pace setters, before you, and there will be pace setters after you. So our connections and connect across the globe are now very strong. As I said, most of us are IB examiners. We gel with the community, IBO conferences when we attend, and similarly Seema ma'am when she attends those career counseling and counseling related sessions with the universities. And yes, all this goes in a long way. Finally, it's only for you people, for our own students. Now, since we were talking about universities, let's look at what universities want, what they look at. They look at academics, which is one area, and then they also look at the entire holistic growth of a child. And we did talk about the word holistic today in one of our conversations. I think Aryan did mention that, even Anahita mentioned. So holistic approach at GIIS is ensured by our own award-winning 9 GEMS pedagogical model, or framework, rather, to put it that way. And if you see that under 9 GEMS, we have 9 GEMS on one end, we have IB learner profile on another end, and we have CAS, creativity, activity, service component requirement of IB. So this very clear mapping of IB learner profile with 9 GEMS. Activities under 9 GEMS are so meticulously planned by school that we ensure that once you graduate, you have all those 10 attributes that IB wants or admission officers in universities are looking for. You're not just knowledgeable, thinker, open-minded, principled, caring, balanced. You are risk takers. You become reflective. You acquire skills of life, which is social skills, which could be self-management skills, research skills, communication skills, like Manas rightly mentioned, confident, more effective communicator. So this is what admission officers look at. And here at GIIS, IB learner profile is mapped with 9 GEMS. So we make sure that any student who graduates from GIIS is holistically developed. all areas of all 9 gems, including academics to sports to creativity and innovation to university connections, universal values, digital or design and technology, creativity, all aspects are covered. And I'm sure most of you have been with GIS at least for more than 5 years. So you would have experienced this. So do you think the exposure, the events, the activities covered under these 9 GEM program or each of the GEM helped you become an IB ready young adult, ready to rock the world? Aaron, would you want to add?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I feel that the 9 Gens program was really beneficial for me to develop my whole personality. So in reference to the 9 gems, I would like to concentrate on the academics, creativity, problem solving, and innovation gems. So the first point that I would like to highlight and appreciate are the opportunities that GIS provides for students to take competitive exams in the schools, like the SOF Olympiads, Silver Zone exams, the UNSW exams, NGSC, WGSCs, etc. I have been participating in these Olympiad exams from grade 2, and they have undoubtedly refined my academic knowledge and improved my problem solving skills over the years. And the school really encourages and motivates students to participate in these exams from an early age by awarding the winners in the weekly school assembly. And I feel like the skills that were gained from these competitive Olympiads definitely helped me not only in my board exams, but also in other important tests that are required for universities like the SAT, UCAT, and BMAT. Similarly, I felt that the facilities at the Smart Campus, like the filmmaking studio and the advanced equipment, provided a platform for me that allowed me to develop my creative interests in filmmaking and animation. All the films and animation projects that our friends and I made were showcased in the school assembly and on the social media. And the positive reception to our films only motivated us to try something more innovative and something more ambitious the next time, and to push ourselves, basically.
So again, we came with the word that we started with, push. The opportunities are ample at Smart Campus and opportunities. And I'm very happy to hear from you, Aaron, that you are saying that the competitive examination, the external examination, those Olympiads helped you prepare for the next level when you were in JC or junior college, that is SAT, ACT. And of course, all these scores count or contribute to your university admission. So the academic rigor that is set in right from beginning is, I think, what we are also very proud of. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing that. It was very well worded. Let's hear from Vedeha.
I think the school's support and introduction for participation in the Junior Achievements Company of the Year competition in 2020 really highlighted to me the gem of entrepreneurship and leadership development. So over a 6-month period, a group of friends and I developed a complete business from scratch, right from developing the product idea to manufacturing and marketing and selling. We were introduced to the competition via school. And when we had the constant support throughout, be allowing us to use their rooms after school hours to hold our meetings, help us raise capital by talking to fellow investor students and teachers, and even the occasional bit of business advice. So I think those points really highlighted to me how that gem was inculcated within us.
So yeah, like you said, entrepreneurship and leadership qualities. And of course, these are qualities of life. Having gone through a 6-month rigorous program, and not to forget free of cost, because school is associated with the organization Junior Achievement Singapore, and then getting that exposure, learning so much, acquiring those skills, I'm sure have definitely changed you as a person completely. I'm 100% confident of that. And I'm really happy to see you, Vedeha, emerge as this well-rounded leader capable of now probably starting up your own company in 2 to 3 years from now. Manas, let's hear from you.
Yes, ma'am. The main gems that stood out for me were Gem 1, Academy Excellence, and Gem 2, the Sports, Health, and Fitness Excellence. I've personally always strived to strike a good balance a good work-life balance, and with excellent teaching and sports facilities at GI Smart Campus, and with the right support, this is all possible. I could perform well in class and practice all my favorite sports like table tennis, soccer, and basketball. And this really helped me become more balanced, which is an IB attribute which really helped.
So as you already yourself mentioned, it's an IB attribute. Well-being is at heart of the school. Well-being of each child is important, with the policy that no child is left behind. So not just academics, but I think sports, health, physical fitness also proved and went a long way to, shape you in a well-rounded individual. Thank you, Manas, for sharing that with us. Let's hear from Anahita.
The gems that were highlighted in my journey were academic excellence, collaborative learning, and community connection. For instance, the subject proficiency awards and the GI scholarships acted as a stepping stone towards maintaining my academic excellence. And along with that, the clubs that I was part of during IB, for example, the Interact Club, provided me various opportunities to organize community service events like Meals on Wheels to deliver meals to the disabled elderly in Singapore, and also book donation drives for the underprivileged children.
So I think, Anahita, again, this is the attribute that IB really looks in individuals, being caring. IB mission statement says that they want active, compassionate, lifelong learners who are ready to create a better and a peaceful world. And yes, Interact Club at GIIS is proactive in ensuring that students do imbibe this attribute. And I'm happy, that you got the opportunity to do such activities for the community. So it's like giving back. When you take from community, it's our moral responsibility to give back to the society. And I'm happy that you do feel that, you have these attributes. You're ready to rock the world. You're ready to face the rigors of university life. And admission officers prefer IB graduates because they know that they're coming with these 10 learner profiles that they would want in their students to be, as I again repeat, to face the rigors of university life. Moving ahead with our conversation, let's talk of the pandemic that struck the world. 2020, as the world knows, has been an unusual year. It has actually changed the future of education. It has changed the way we look at education, the way you look at education, and your batch is the batch that I think was worst hit. You were partly online. There were phases where you were completely online and you had to switch to home-based learning overnight. I would say rather in a boom, we all moved to Zoom. So how was your experience, in terms of this transition, overnight transition from a physical face-to-face interaction to an online interaction? Do you think school was ready? Do you think teachers were equipped to take overnight this transition? Do you think that there was any loss of teaching time in terms of theory, or for that matter, in terms of your internal assessment components, or rather in terms of discussions with your supervisors for your extended essays and TOK? So how do you think you handled this transition and still emerged as winners in the IB board exams? Manas, would you want to go first here?
Sure, ma'am. My HBL experience was better than expected. I was worried that the HBL might compromise the quality of my education, but the classes were more seamless, in fact, and communication with the teacher was also more clear. The school was well prepared, in fact, to move on to online classes. For all grades, with high-tech resolution cameras in every classroom so that the whiteboard could be viewed clearly by students at home. We did lose out on a lot of lab time, but then the school was very understanding of this, and they helped us by pushing out this lab deadlines by a few months, and also allotting specific weeks for the students to do only lab work, and so that they could catch up.
So you got that. So basically, in short, you did get that exposure that you should have got it. Of course, that's reflected in your grades, definitely. And we all can't deny that. Anahita, how do you feel?
The moment the circuit breaker was implemented last year, the school was really quick and effective in conducting our online classes with the digital resources at the Smart Campus. So I don't think there was any disruption in covering the syllabus for our board exams. And all of our teachers were also really supportive and patient with us in this new environment of online classes. We were easily able to communicate with our teachers about any doubts with our IAs and upcoming deadlines, as the virtual classes were really engaging and interactive.
And thanks, Anahita, for sharing that. Vedeha, how was your experience with the online classes?
The school was very quick and very well prepared for the shift to HPL. As we were already using technology quite a bit in our normal classes, the teacher already had presentations and notes ready for online discussions, and the transition was thus seamless. I felt like my productivity might have actually increased a little bit in HBL, as staying at home allowed me to focus on my I's and E's a lot better while also getting my coursework done. There was no real effect to the quality of education, as the teachers were always available to call and text outside class if we ever had any doubts. We also had a lot of revision and practice material provided. And as Manas said, we also had extended deadlines for the labs, so that was nothing to worry about as well.
Okay, right. So Aaron, how was your experience?
Yeah, ma'am. Like Vedeha, I also strangely felt that my productivity increased during the home-based learning period. And like everyone, I was really impressed by how smoothly the teachers were able to adapt to the online format and how they were really cooperative and receptive to all our problems during the uncertainty of the pandemic. They accordingly allocated all the classwork, IA work, homework, and revision material, which I'm really grateful for. And also the partial online virtual mode was very well organized, and it could really accommodate all the students, whether they were present physically or virtually.
Right. So I think, in short, technology at Smart Campus has been a game changer, right? Hybrid lessons with 50% physically present in class, 50% online, without any loss of teaching time, and ensuring that the class syllabus is completed on time, IAs are done, labs are conducted, sessions with the teachers or supervisors are done. So in a way, I think we have been able to produce smart students. So smart students of Smart Campus, students who can apply substitution, modification, augmentation, redefinition, along with traditional methods of teaching. So we never deviated from our roots, but at the same time ensured that our students, they are capable of applying this SMAR model in real life. And I think this will help you all in long way now, because the way things are, I think this is how the world would be. We need to change, and you all and generations to come, if you're able to apply SMAR into your real life, that means you're able to achieve what world wants from you as a leader. So one quote, that always kept you going through this period of turbulence, through the period of pandemic, pre-pandemic, and what do you think will keep you going in the post-pandemic era also? One quote that, is your tagline. Anahita?
I think that one quote that kept me going throughout IB and hopefully in university also is that a little progress each day will add up to big results.
So well said. A little progress each day, pushes you to achieve what you want. So that persistence. So we are rounding back to from where we started. So nicely put, Nahita. Manas, what's your quote?
Mine would be that all our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. We've had a difficult year, the past 2 years because of the pandemic. But for me, I had my mind set on getting into med school, pursuing medicine to become a doctor. And that motivated me, pushed me to have the courage to pursue it.
So pushing yourself again, Manas, and we would be happy to see you a few years from now and actually, call you as Dr. Manas. I'll wait for that day as your teacher. And moving on to Vedeha. Vedeha, what is that one quote?
For me, I think what kept me going throughout IB, and especially with regards to what experiments I was selecting for my extended essays and what I was writing for my TOK, it was that trying and failing is always better than not trying at all. Even if you do fail, you always learn something else and you can always use that someone else.
Yes.
And the end is always going to be helpful.
Very nice. Again, affirming that limitations are self-imposed. You can always overcome your limitations if you try. Aryan?
Yeah, ma'am. My code is also in line with Vaideha's. It is that every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. I feel that a lot of the times we really feel like giving up, but it's always better to remember that we have to try, and it can do something big.
You know, after hearing your quotes, I would want to share what my quote is, which, you know, is my tagline and has always kept me going as a seasoned physics teacher, let's say, who spent more than 2 decades in classrooms now. I always feel if you have guts to go to extreme depths, you get to lay your hands on pearls. So I think if you see, actually everything boils down to the same thing. So world is your place. There are pearls all around you. So go rock out and have that determination, have that passion, have that persistence, perseverance, so that you get to lay your hands on pearls. And we as a school, we all of us, all our teachers, and on behalf of management, we all wish the same for you. Moving further, one takeaway that you would want to share with the audience, with your juniors, you know, as a message to today's session. Aryan?
Yes, ma'am, sure. I think my message would be that don't worry. Yes, IB can get stressful. Yes, the IAs are quite difficult. Yes, TOK sometimes, maybe a lot of times doesn't make sense. But don't worry, you are not alone. Be sincere, finish all of your work before the deadlines, and the rest of the journey will be quite fun, hopefully. Ultimately, just relax, work hard where you can, and don't take yourself too seriously. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so being balanced, being focused is the key. You will pass the journey, dear students who are about to rock onto this world of IBDP. But yes, as Aryan has rightly put, it's not that something that you cannot cross. You have evidence in front of you sitting here and talking to you, where they have one message for our audience.
With actually regards to coping with everything that IB throws at you, I think it's really important that you schedule yourself from the beginning. It's always better to study an hour or two every day consistently instead of cramming in 7 or 9 hours a few days before exams. Consistency is essential and to not feel overwhelmed by work and deadlines. On that note, do not procrastinate on your IAs and other essays to focus on your exams. Both of them are equally important. And your IAs will most likely take more time than you originally planned for. And don't forget to make time for yourself and relax every day. It'll keep you grounded and you'll be able to focus on your work a lot better.
Thanks, Vaideha. Nicely worded, nicely put to our audience. I'm sure they all can relate and they would like to adopt your strategies that you shared with them today. Manas, anything from your end?
My advice would be that, obviously, as my friend just said, time management would be a very important aspect of IB. IAs and TOKs, Es, everything will take a lot of time. But if you organize yourself, you should be fine. But another thing that I'd like to stress on is that something I realized very early in my school life is that at the end of the day, what's important is that you have fun and enjoy the time you have with your friends. School is important, but always prioritize your mental health first. And what I'd like to say, just be balanced in general.
So being balanced is what you feel really helps. And Ahita?
I would like to say that although the pressures of IB do get overwhelming at times, you should not hesitate to ask for help because any support from your teachers, friends, or parents will surely make your journey more smoother.
Right. So reach out if there is a need. Of course, teachers are always there for you. Parents are always there. So nicely put, Anahita. So I think I would like to, with this, we would like to end our session today. Thank you so much, toppers, for joining us today. Dear graduates, I would say you brought laurels to the school, to your families. You've made all of us proud. And we're thankful that you took out your time today to be with us and share your experience experiences, share your codes, share your strategies with our audience, and with the future batches whom we believe will be the trendsetters, and they'll try to follow the pace that you've set. They'll try to achieve the benchmark that you put for them. So to our dear audience, what would you want as a parent, in your child or from a given school? World-class education at affordable price by the world-class trained, experienced teachers with good academic results and a secure university placement. So if these are the 5 parameters you're looking for, then GIIS is the right place. A place which offers next-gen learning, ready to prepare the digital natives who will transform and adapt to the new norms of education and the new norms of society. If these are the parameters, please reach out to us, and our team of experienced admission counselors will get in touch with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.